of their fandom and not allow anything outside of that to infiltrate their world. You are really that girl, David.
I never used to be, though. You're not blocked by anyone, Carlos. Are you not blocked by anyone?
I'm going to double check. Listen, I'm going to tell you who a good story really quickly. I love Kyle Richards. She's my all-time favorite housewife in terms of someone who I don't know because I know the others. I love her. Love her. Last season on my podcast, I was very hard on Kyle. Like, Kyle, you need to do this, do that. People would say, like, damn, Carlos, like, you really are going in for Kyle. I'm like, no, I love her. David, Kyle started following me. But it goes to show you that certain people who appreciate honesty, they're not blocking you, they're following. So as of today, David, I'm not blocked by a housewife. Although I heard Heather Dubrow doesn't like me, allegedly.
That's what you said on your podcast. Well, another show, someone recently told me that they joined my Patreon. It was a housewife. She said, oh, I joined your, I was like, you did bullshit. Then I realized, wait, I never pay attention to this. Let me go see. And sure enough, so then I started listening. Yes. So she's blocked me, but this is not the same housewife. But guess who's on my Patreon? Hi, Melissa Gorga. Thank you thank you for the money every month, girl. Melissa Gorga. I mean,
is this breaking news?
Yeah, I've never said this before because I just did this research of, and I mean, we can go down the list. I've taken screenshots of all you. So to your point, I would like to thank all these housewives for actually paying and subscribing to my paid Patreon every month because Melissa's not alone.
Honey, those envy checks are cashing at David's Patreon account.
Now, I mean, maybe she's going to say, oh, shit, and now she's going to cancel her membership. But Melissa Gorga, you know you want to hear every month. So just stay there, girl. The cat's out of the bag.
But you know what this means, though, right, David? Like me, she's obsessed with your Saturday episodes with Kim D.
Listen, it's that question that Andy asks on Bravo on Watch What Happens. And I don't want to be hated. I don't. But would I rather be feared or loved? I will choose feared. I would. It means I'm doing my job well, right?
Yes, you have a hot podcast, baby. You're doing it very, very fucking well, I may add.
Well, someone else is doing a great job. I mean, I had the pleasure last year of sitting down with the OG Miss Sheree Whitfield. I saw you just had her back on your podcast, girl. Atlanta is back in the house.
Yes, I am so excited. It's, listen, that franchise will always be very, very close to my heart. And after watching the premiere, I'm like, my girls are back. So I'm feeling good.
I think this is right. Like, we're getting into, I think this is going to be, like, we don't have a lot to go on, but I think it's going to be a good season, right?
Listen, but okay. I have learned through two things. One, my own history of producing shows. Secondly, based on a couple of franchises where the first episode was good. And then you're like, oh shit. Potomac being the most recent example of how a season started strong and then it kind of went crazy. So Atlanta premiere episode was really good. I'm just hoping that they're able to sustain the momentum. And I'm very careful with saying this will be a great season after one episode, because at the end of the day, the A story in the first episode had to do with Sheree's boyfriend, Martel, who's on my show, Love and Marriage Huntsville. So because he's currently filming on that show, he's not making a lot of appearances on Atlanta. But based on the first episode, David, you want to see more of Martel and Sheree. And that's going to be the concerning thing about this season. Do you ladies have something else to talk about besides Sheree's new boo?
Right. And listen, it would be interesting because, listen, Sheree's a great housewife because she does really put it out there, right? She really is just like what next? Like, there's no Melissa Gorga with her of what am I gonna? Sheree is just like right. You feel it. You're in the moment. You had her on the podcast recently, so I think if she had a different boyfriend, we would be seeing it. But let's just face it, the fact that it is from your show, Mr. Martel Holt, makes this just all that. I mean, I cannot get enough, honey. I can't get enough.
Listen, and it's funny because I had a moment, David, where I'm like, you know what, Carlos, bitch? You left the show 6 years ago, and somehow, some way, you found your way back into it. Who would have thought in a million years? Think about this, David. I leave a show that I helped start to create another franchise, and how those worlds are colliding, Atlanta Housewives and Love and Marriage Huntsville. And to see Martel on the premiere, I was beaming like a proud father. Like, he looks great. And look, their chemistry, they're having some good sex.
He looks phenomenal when he goes into that, and he's taking the. I'm like, wait, I don't know if I really ever realized that Martel was all this. Like, you have got my attention, honey. Like, I have woken up. I mean, I don't. I mean, I know it's always been out there, but I guess it took coming on this with Sheree for me to be like, wow, okay,
Hubba
now.
hubba.
Hubba. I mean, like, where do you stand, and can you have an opinion as the executive producer of Real Housewives of Love and Marriage Huntsville? I mean, because a lot of people don't have such a positive opinion, Miss Kenya Moore.
I know, and Kenya is literally like a friend of mine. Like, I love Kenya. She's such a good girl. Look, I will always be a viewer first. That's first and foremost. And what you said, Sheree is a real OG, a true OG, and she gives everything to this show. So to see how she's allowing herself to be seen with this guy from another show who unfortunately cheated on his wife, had a child while they were married, had a child with another woman while he was married to his then wife. To see that he overcame that, dated one of the hottest women on Atlanta Housewives, and sort of is now seen as like this hunky guy who is charming the pants off of Sheree, but according to the other girls, like Kenya, is alleging that he's sliding in DMs. But I have to say, I am enjoying every single moment of it because Kenya is a fan of Love and Marriage Huntsville. And what people don't know is Kenya praised Martel when she and I would talk. And she said this publicly during an IG Live we had years ago. So it went from praising Martel being a good father to, oh, he's in my DMs and he's a cheater. Once a cheater, always a cheater. So I'm curious